Good morning, everybody. Okay. So as I go around the room, I'd like everybody to tell me your name, what year you are here at Hillsdale, if you know what you might like to study, some idea of what your major is, and what is your favorite animal. I'm going to kind of zigzag around the room horizontally. I will start with you. And feel free to tell me if you... Oh, sorry, I already interrupted. But if you have a nickname that you would like me to use other than your official name, whatever's in WebAdvisor, please let me know.
I'm Anna. I go by AJ. I'm a freshman.
Could you also tell me last name, please?
Oh, Basouls.
Oh, you're first on the list, too. So I just want to make sure I'm checking people off who are coming for this first day.
I'm a freshman. I'm hoping to pursue a European Studies degree, and my favorite animal is an elephant.
Nice. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you.
I'm Emma. I'm also a freshman. I'm interested
Emma.
Sanders. I'm interested in economics and Spanish, and my favorite animal is a duck.
Nice.
So my name is Elizabeth Ann Ferguson. If Elizabeth Ann is too long for you, you're welcome to call me Liz Ann. That kind of shortens it down a tad, but either is fine. I'm a freshman here at Hillsdale, and I'm looking to either go down a path, a double major of philosophy and religion, or a double major of politics and economics.
Those two specific combos, no mixing and matching.
No.
Hey, nice to meet you, Elizabeth.
My name is Benedict Kennedy. I'm a freshman here at Hillsdale as well. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to major in yet. I'm thinking either economics or politics. And my favorite animal is a penguin because they look like a bird.
There.
I'm Maggie Rockenhut. I am a freshman. I'm tentatively planning on studying political economy, and my favorite animal, I really like pigs. I like teacup pigs.
You got this. Nothing wrong with that. Welcome.
I'm Grace Bennett. I'm a junior, and I'm studying English. My favorite animal is a baby elephant.
Nice.
I'm Anna Russell. I'm a freshman. I'm planning on being on the pre-law track with a double major in philosophy and Spanish. And my favorite animal, I'm going to pull this off of an article I recently saw. It's newly my favorite animal, but it's called the elephant shrew. They thought it was extinct, but they just found one scurrying around in Africa somewhere. It's a very tiny little mouse with huge ears, and it's adorable.
Like a mouse that sort of looks like an elephant?
Kind of, with a very long nose.
Gotcha.
It's really, it's hard to describe.
It sounds cute and terrifying at the same time.
My name is Victoria Kelly. I am a freshman planning to study political economy from pre-law, and my favorite animal is probably the northeastern wild pony.
Nice.
I'm Jed Thomas, sophomore. I'm doing economics, and probably a shark.
I like it.
My name is Lucia Piku. I'm a freshman, and I'm interested in studying history, and my favorite animal is a husky.
My name is Julia Wagner. I'm a freshman. I'm planning on majoring in rhetoric and public address, but I don't know 100%. This is really weird, but my favorite animal is a tarantula.
I can respect that. And fear it.
I'm Megan McKeo. I'm a sophomore. I'm hoping to study RPA on pre-law track, and I also like sharks. Shark Week is my life.
Get away from their corners of the classroom.
My name's Sean Fagan. I'm a freshman. I'm on politics and minor in history. My favorite animal is youre.
My name is Isaac Ritzer. I'm a freshman. I'm undecided as far as what I'm going to study, and third animal, I've got to go with the koala.
Less terrifying than some of the previous ones.
My name is Zachary Erda.
Oh, did I? I just skipped a row. Okay, we're gonna. We'll pull him back at you.
I'm Zachary Erda. I'm a sophomore. Trying to study biochem, and favorite animal is a zebra.
Okay.
My name is Patton Harmon. I'm a freshman, probably going to study history. My favorite animal is a jaguar.
Cool.
My name's Maddie Welch. I'm a freshman. I'm planning to study English, and my favorite animal is probably the cat.
Any specific guy?
My cat.
My name is Lucas Jurisic. I go by Luke. I'm a freshman here. I'm going into psychology. My favorite animal is probably a lion.
I'm Christopher Van Sloy. I'm a senior. I'm Robert. I'm studying Latin, kind of a classics major, but I'm really going to be a Latin major, and I tend to like dogs. Not the really yippy ones, but that's
My name is Blaine Gorman. I'm a sophomore, I'm a business major, and my favorite animal is a gorilla.
Nice. I didn't miss anybody, did I? Okay, nice to meet you all. Okay, so got a lot of administrative stuff given what's happening at the college this semester. So one thing I will do at the start of every class is I will write down sort of an agenda for the day, upcoming office hours, and upcoming homework assignments. Your homework assignment for today, what is math? So what I would like you to do for class on Friday, and you don't need to write this down or formally submit it or anything, I just want you to come prepared for a class discussion about this, is if you had to sum up to you in one sentence, what would you say that math is? It's just an opinion, you're not going to get points on this or anything, I just want to be able to have a discussion on Friday at the start of class where we kind of go around and have everybody interpret math in their own way so that I can then interpret math in my own way. Okay, did everybody get a copy of the syllabus? Okay, so, I like Foxtrot. Okay, so, I think you're all on my list. Everybody here is on my list of students registered for the class or is on, I remember emailing in the last couple days, so I think you're all in the right place at the right time. This is a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class. Instructor office, Dow 107. My office is at this end of the hall, but that might not be too relevant for you, which we'll talk about in a bit. But before I get too deep into the syllabus, I do want to mention, I mentioned something about you're all going to be on YouTube. That's sort of a lie. You will not be seen, but you may be heard on YouTube. So what that means is I'm going to be recording all of our classes this semester. Due to COVID, there's a couple students who are actually going to be taking the class already remotely for at least part of the semester. And unfortunately, COVID is a real thing, and if you feel sick or not well at any point for any reason in the semester, I encourage you, don't come to class. Watch the YouTube recordings. Be safe. But anyways, your class, in fact, yours is I'm teaching 3 sections of this class, and yours is the only one that's going to be recorded. Because the first one of the day makes it easy on you. So, don't feel obligated to come to class every day. This is going to be the only day where I sort of take roll, and that's just, I wanted to go around the room and hear everybody's names, mainly. I encourage you to let me know if you're not planning to come to class. Just send me an email that morning saying, Dr. Gerstle, I don't feel well, or Dr. Gerstle, I have blah, 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 X reasons for not coming to class. Dr. Gerstle, I hate your stinking guts. Just send me an email. Let me know you're not going to be in class. I will totally respect that. Course description, blah, blah, blah. We're here to do math. Prerequisites, none. So, which math class should I take? A lot of students don't know this. You do not have to take Math 105, this course specifically, to fulfill the core requirement for the math core requirement. Any math class will do. Technically, I think the catalog says for the core, you need to take Math 105 or any higher numbered math class. Math 105 is the lowest number math class, so any math class, like any of the calcs or anything, would suffice. So, which math class should you be in? I think if you're only planning on taking one math class, this is a good one, unless, hello, come on in, grab a copy of the syllabus.
Thank you. Apologize, I went to 112, the wrong building.
Oh, horrifying. So Math 105, in this course, is going to be kind of designed to give you like a big overview of what is math really about. What is math really about? It's not about number crunching. In fact, we're not going to do any number crunching in this class. It's going to be all logic and geometry and puzzles. But if you are planning on majoring or studying or doing any sort of significant study in math, biology, chemistry, physics, economics, or one of the business programs, you're likely going to need to take some calculus for that, in which case Math 112 or Math 120 might be a better fit for you. This course is kind of designed for humanities or social science students who are coming in. You don't like math, I'm going to change that, and hopefully. And you only need to take this one math class. If that's you, welcome aboard. If you're planning on kind of studying any of the sciences or econ or businessy type things, calculus might be Calc 1 might be a better fit for you, and will also fulfill the core requirement in math. Any questions so far? Okay, textbooks, copy of Euclid's Elements. You do not have to bring that with you to class each day. In fact, we're not even going to use it until kind of the second half of the semester. I will let you know when you should start bringing it to class. But it probably won't be for another month and a half, if I had to guess, before we get into Euclid heavily. Blackboard and email. I will post things on Blackboard. I expect students to check Blackboard daily. I don't actually expect you to check Blackboard daily. I expect you to check Blackboard when I tell you to. But emails, right? You should check early and often. I will send emails. I will send lots of emails. You will get sick of my emails. Okay, COVID policies. Okay. You might notice we're all wearing masks in here. I think I sent this to you in an email last week. I am planning on, regardless of what the college does, keeping up a mask policy throughout the semester. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it sucks. But that is the reality we are currently living in. 2020 is a beast of a year. So, general policies would not write in a typical syllabus. Less relevant. This one isn't as relevant for you all because this is the first class in here of the day. But do not gather in the hallway outside of class. So I have many classes here where students like to kind of clump up in giant groups outside in the hall. Please don't do that. This is going to be more, I think, for my 9 o'clock class because they have to wait for us to finish. But I encourage you to do this for all your classes. Don't try and clump up in the hall outside the classroom. Try and do some social distancing, and I encourage you to show up to class less than 5 minutes before class starts, so everybody in the previous class can leave. That's not relevant to you. You are encouraged to use hand sanitizer. Your dispensers outside in the hall, squirt your hand, can definitely do you some good. Do others good. You're also encouraged. There are wipes. A little wipe dispenser kind of right underneath the clock in kind of front of the room. I'm not going to record this, but I would encourage you to, when you come into class each day, grab a wipe, wipe your desk down as you come in. Hopefully this will be clean because yours is the first class of the day in here, but I don't know what the cleaning protocols exactly are. I would encourage you to do so.
Would you like us to also wipe down the desks after we're sitting down just in case the next person who comes in forgets or doesn't know?
That would be the polite thing to do. Yes, I would definitely encourage that. People who come in after you will be encouraged to do the same thing, but I think it is a nice gesture. Also, when you come in, I will I'm not going to be passing things out in the middle of class. I don't want to be passing papers and stuff around that's going to exchange many hands before it gets to the back row, say. So, if there's anything I want you to pick up, and there will be lots of like little worksheet packets and stuff, it will be sitting on that desk just inside the doorway as you enter. So whenever you enter, just take a look, see if there's anything there, and if there is, grab a copy before sitting down. During class, if you need to use the restroom, you're certainly welcome to do so, but please, wash your hands. Do it carefully. After class, if you bought, I don't know, try to clump as little as possible as you're leaving the classroom. If you bought in a wipe with you to wipe down your desk, please take your wipe with you and throw it out. And there's a garbage can right next to the door. If you have questions for me or something you wanted to ask me about, please do not huddle around me and make me feel scared. Just kind of like make like a little line. Try and stay 6 feet away from me and each other as best as you can. I'll try to get to you as best as I can. Okay, any questions about any of those COVID policies? Just most of that I feel like is just things that, I don't know, I'm sure you've been hearing about. I'm sure you've been hearing for months now. Mask, social distancing, be clean, be healthy, be cool, don't do drugs. Questions? Yes.
I haven't ever actually used Zoom before for anything. I took a gap year, so I didn't have any of this class stuff, and also I was homeschooled. So for Zoom, when you sign up for appointments, do you have to have like an account with Zoom already, or is it just send us a link, or how does that work exactly?
That's a good question. All right, and the next order of business, office hours. Office is small. There's just not I tried playing around with this, seeing if there's like a good way that I felt comfortable doing office hours. There kind of isn't until office hours are going to be online through Zoom. And so what that means is if you go into Blackboard, there will be a link that you can click on, and it will take you to a web page where you will be able to join the Zoom conversation. I say will because I realized right before class I didn't actually put up the link yet. But I will be putting that up after class today. So if you go to our course's Blackboard page, I've found office hour policies. There will be a poll, and that I did put up, that is linked to where you can actually sign up for a 10-minute or for one or multiple 10-minute time slots to kind of have one-on-one meetings with me through Zoom. So just kind of this virtual meetings. You can do it from wherever you have an internet connection. I will always list upcoming office hours. So like today, on Wednesdays typically, for instance, I would have an office hour from 10 to 10:50 and from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And tomorrow I will from 10 to 11 in the morning, 1:30 to 2:30 in the afternoon. If you would like to talk with me, and it's any more than just a question that you can ask from the doorway to my office. If you just want to pop in my door and say, really quick, Dr. Gerstel, is it true that blah, 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 it's something I can answer from my desk and it's like a 10-second interaction, that you can come to my office to ask. But anything that's like a substantial question, something you want to talk about that's going to take more than just a few seconds, I would like you to sign up for one of these 10-minute sessions. If you feel like you have lots you want to ask me, you are welcome to sign up for multiple 10-minute sessions back to back. But these are all going to be first come, first served. Someone signs up, you can also sign up for 10 minutes. If you're working with someone else in the class and you want to both meet to talk with me, go ahead and just have one of you sign up for one of the 10-minute sessions. You can both then join the Zoom call, and just you can let me know during the Zoom call whichever one of you signed up. Oh, by the way, such and such other person is going to be joining us, and we could have Zoom calls with honestly as many of you as possible, but only one person sign up, please. Yeah, did that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Any other questions or comments about how office hours are going to work? Okay. Ooh, mastery-based grading. This is the fun stuff. Can you remember this? So, how does one teach a class in which students may be out at any time for weeks? How, and some students might not even be here at all. What I have come up with is a sort of a policy for grading in which all assessments are going to be done outside of the physical classroom. Meaning, you are never going to have to, you're never going to be coming into class and actually physically handing in anything to me. Trying to do that to avoid bad things. So, what's going to happen is there are 20 different things, 20 different sort of skills I want you to master by the end of the semester. If you look on page 3 of the syllabus, they're all listed out. Students can interpret and negate basic mathematical statements, can interpret and negate mathematical statements with quantifiers. The first 10 or so are all kind of designed around mathematical logic, sort of like a branch of math where we kind of like look at it, kind of be able to take a statement, pick it apart, sort of say, how can we logically say whether or not the statement is true, and then ultimately being able to write kind of basic mathematical proofs. That's going to be kind of the goal of the first half of the semester, the first 10 standards. And it won't take us a full like half of the semester. This is probably, first 10 standards are only probably the first 5 weeks or so. But I wanted to front load it for reasons we're going to get into. The second 10 standards are going to be focused on taking kind of the skills we've learned and looking at logic, mathematical logic, and apply them to Euclid's elements and get knee deep into some geometry. Talk about who is Euclid, how did he understand mathematics, what was kind of the mathematical system, the axiomatic system that he developed, and ultimately being able to get into some of the constructions you've probably seen in geometry classes before, but ultimately go into them in a little bit more detail and hopefully with a little bit more understanding of what's actually going on. And then at the end, we're going to talk about weird things like elliptic geometry and hyperbolic geometry. We're going to talk about how to do geometry. I haven't sanitized it, but there's a basketball at the front of the room. If you can't see it, imagine a basketball. We're going to talk about how to do geometry on the surface of a basketball. And then geometry where lines go all curvy and wonky and do things you do not expect lines to typically do. That'll wrap up the semester course. There's 20 different learning standards. Your goal in this class is by the end of the semester, Matt, you need to show me that you've mastered each of these 20 skills twice. Dr. Gerstle, how do I show you that I've mastered each skill? So I'm going to be handing out lots and lots of worksheet packets throughout the semester, sort of like little note packets where I started writing some notes for the course, but I'm leaving you plenty of blanks for you to fill in information yourself. One for each learning standard. After we kind of work our way through each one of these note packets in class, I will then give you a sort of a quiz on Blackboard. And that'll kind of be the main homework assignments for the class is preparing for and taking these quizzes outside of class. And so when I say I want you to show me that you've mastered a skill, what that means is each quiz, there's no partial credit. You either master it or you don't. And if you don't, you get 0 credit. If you master it, you get 1 mastery towards the 2 I'm hoping that you earn in each skill by the end of the semester. So here's the catch. If you get a 0 on an assignment, if you don't show mastery on a quiz, it does not affect your grade at all. Getting a 0 on a quiz means nothing. It doesn't mean you're losing points. It's not going to hurt your grade at the end of the semester. Because you are going to test and test and test again on each of these standards until you've earned each of them twice. So what that means is once I've given you feedback, I kind of graded and told you, hey, here's what grade you're getting on an assignment. You've either mastered it or you haven't. You can retest outside of class. So So what that means is once a week, you can email me and say, Dr. Gerstel, I would like to retest on standard 3. And I will send you a link where you can actually retest on standard 3. What that means is you'll be given another quiz. It won't be exactly the same as the one you already took, but it'll be similar, testing you over the same sort of concepts. And you can keep retesting throughout over the course of the semester, do it up to once every single week. And that'll be another opportunity for you to earn mastery, especially if you didn't earn one the first time around. Exams. There's going to be 4 midterms and a final. Every one of the exams is going to be cumulative. So if you look kind of here, I've moved on to page 4. Exam 1 is going to be over standards 1 through 5. Exam 2 is going to be over standards 1 through 10. Exam 3, standards 1 to 15. Final exam, standards 1 through 20. Exam 4, standards 1 through 20. I switched the order of those in my head for some reason, but the final is actually the final exam. What that means is every time you get an exam, and these will be done online as well, outside of class, every exam is going to be cumulative. And exams will be getting longer and longer throughout the semester. So first exam, only have 5 questions. I expect kind of each question will be like a quiz, which I'll design to take about 10 minutes. And so the first exam, I expect you to do all 5 standards, or to make an attempt at them. But by the second exam, there's 10 standards that'll be on it. 10 minutes for a 50-minute class, it's not going to work. So what I'm going to do for you is I do not expect you to attempt every standard on these later exams. I expect you to pick the ones that you still need masteries on and to only do those questions. And the rest of the questions on the exam, you just leave blank. So by the time of midterm 4, where I've given you 20 questions, and you only maybe do 5 or 6 of them, but you only do need to do the ones that you still need masteries on. Once you get 2 masteries on a standard, you do not need to test on it ever again, even if it shows up on exams in the final. Yes?
And you answered my question.
Oh, okay. Any other questions so far?
So how many quizzes will there be on each? Like if there's a quiz on standard 1 and we get mastery on it, will there be another quiz so we can get a second mastery, or do we get the second mastery on the exam later?
It's up to you. Okay. So let's say I give you the standard 1 quiz. Let's say you take it, you earn a mastery on it. Congratulations. You could do one of 2 things. You could choose to immediately say, all right, I want to use my retest for this week to retest that standard and immediately go for your second mastery. Or you could maybe use it on another mastery instead, and then come the next exam, you'll have to try and earn your second mastery there.
Okay.
This will mean that kind of the earlier standards, you're going to have more attempts to test on than the later standards. This is kind of why I have an exam 4 that's basically going to be the same thing as the final exam. It's going to be over every single standard. It's because I want you to have 2 different exam opportunities to earn masteries on like the last few standards. Because like standard 20, you may only be able to do like the quiz, 1 retest outside of class, and these 2 exams. Which is also why I also tried to front load these standards and do standards earlier on that aren't going to take us as much time. So like early on, these standards might only take us like 1 to 2 classes, whereas like maybe some of the later standards might take us a full week. Is because I want to give you more opportunity to test on as many as you can. So it's up to you to kind of determine your own what do you want to retest on when. Other than everybody will be getting the same quiz. Initial quiz after each standard. So like you'll get standard 1 and quiz A, for instance. And then when you're ready to retest, you'll get standard 1 quiz version B. And then the midterms and final will all have their own versions of each one. The midterms are basically just going to be like these 10-minute quiz, a bunch of these 10-minute quizzes basically stapled together into a single thing. Blackboard. I will keep track for you on Blackboard of, out of the 20 standards, I still need to set this up. It's not set up yet, so don't go looking right now or after class or anything. But in the next week, I'll have it set up so you can see on Blackboard. You're going to start, I'm going to list all 20 standards. You're going to start with a score of 0 out of 2 in each of them. And it's your goal to get that up to 2 out of 2 by the end of the semester in each standard. And I will update Blackboard as I grade things for you. I'll try and update Blackboard about once a week. And so then you can then use that to help you determine what do you still need, what do you want to test it for. So on this page, there is this page where it says base grade, kind of above the exam section. I make a little table for you that tells you exactly what grade you're going to earn in this class. If you want an A in this class, you need to master 8 out of these 20 standards. You need to master all of them at least once and 18 of them twice. If you want a B, you need to master 14 of them twice and 4 of them once, C 9 twice, 7 once, D 6 twice, 8 once. There's a little bit of wiggle room for like minuses and pluses in here. So like if you were to get, for instance, 17 twice and 2 once, you haven't earned an A. You haven't gotten to that column, but you're very close, so you probably get like an A minus or something. But you can kind of use this base grade throughout the semester, or this table throughout the semester to kind of say what is your grade if you were to do no more work in this class. Fun fact: if you've gotten the grade you want by the end of by the 4th midterm, you do not have to take the final exam. Final exam is just one last opportunity for you to get masteries in anything that you want. Yes?
What happens if you're not ready to take a quiz, like that's your homework, right, on the standard? Can you wait for the exam on it and not take the quizzes if you're not ready for them yet?
You could choose not to take quizzes, yes.
Oh.
And basically that's just, I recommend you always try it, even if you don't feel like you're ready. Because it's just, by not taking them, that's just one opportunity for a mastery down the drain. Even if you're not ready, if you take it and you don't earn a mastery, it's not going to hurt you at all. It's the same net effect as just not taking it in the first place. If you really feel like you don't want to take a quiz or anything, because you're not feeling well or not ready, you don't have to go.
I actually have 2 questions. I was wondering if we're going to be using a calculator at any point.
We are not going to be using a calculator at any point. You will not need to use a calculator at any point because we are doing no number crunching in this class.
The second question was if there's any protocol for the online quizzes. Do we need to go anywhere particular to take them?
Yes, you need to go somewhere that you feel comfortable, able to sit for a 10-minute quiz. So the way the quizzes are going to work, I'm not going to say you have to take it during this 10-minute period. The way it's going to work is I'm going to give you like a 2-day gap and leave it and tell you at some point during these 2 days, take this quiz. Now we need to look at anybody's results until after that 2-day period has passed. And during that 2-day period, you can you just pick out a time that works for you, take it wherever you want. Quizzes, by the way, and exams are going to be open note. Use your notes to help you out on this. Of course, that means I'm not going to just be asking questions like, what is Euclid's first postulate? Something that you could just straight look up. I'm always going to be asking questions that you haven't seen before, but maybe similar to ones from the notes, or asking you kind of deeper questions about, did you understand something that we talked about in class, say? But yeah, open notes, open book, I guess, Euclid's Element. No, you're not allowed to go looking up answers online. I don't want you just Googling it. But you will be able to kind of use kind of the resources that I'm going to give to you.
How many standards are we going to cover each week?
It depends on the standards.
Okay.
I think I mentioned earlier, some standards are going to be pretty quick. Like some of these ones we're doing earlier on might only take like 1 or 2 classes a piece. Some of the later ones might take like a full 3-class week to talk about. I will basically each quiz will come once we finish talking about the previous standards, and I'll always keep you announced. Basically, all of these homework assignments, you're not going to actually have to do any homework other than these sort of quizzes and tests. So I'm just going to use to tell you like, oh, by the way, the standard 1 quiz is going to be up from Wednesday to Thursday, due at 11:59 p.m. Thursday night or something.
And so you let us know when you like finish covering something.
Yeah. But we'll also, each one of these standards is going to have its own worksheet packet. We're not going to get to this today, but I brought them along just so I could use as a visual prop. And basically, you'll know when we finish a standard because we've gotten to the end of this packet. Yes?
Are the quizzes in Blackboard timed, like once you started, you only have like, 10 minutes, 20 minutes to complete it, or is it just ends at the due date?
To be announced. I need to play around with Blackboard some more first. Other questions so far? Okay, that's the retested policy. So I said every quiz is going to be pass-fail, which is true, but you'll also still be given 1 of 3 grades on it. If you get a score of M on it, that means you've earned a mastery on that standard. Good job. Pat yourself on the back. Two other grades, though, that you could get. Journeyman and Novice, J and N. These 2 grades mean you don't get the mastery. How they affect your grade is exactly the same, in that they don't affect it at all. But I will still tell you, like if you got a J, that typically means you made some good progress on this standard. Like I could see you had some good thoughts, you sort of knew what you were doing, but you weren't quite there. You haven't shown me yet full mastery of this subject. N means you kind of have some serious gaps in your knowledge, and might be a good idea to come talk to me or to come to my office hours, and we can maybe start from scratch a little bit and do some easier examples first along the way. So J and N kind of are giving you different messages, but they affect your grade in the same way, which is not at all. Whereas M, if you get a score of M, that means you got the mastery. Neato, magneto, you did it.
So does the mastery on a quiz count the same as a mastery on an exam?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so when you take an exam, I might give you your exam back and say, all right, standards 1 through 5. On standard 1, 3, and 4, you got a mastery. On standard 2, you got a J. On standard 5, you got an N. And then I would just add 1 to your mastery totals for standards 1, 3, and 4 based on that. But it'll affect it the exact same way as a quiz. Each time you test on a standard will be weighted in exactly the same way.
When we're taking an exam, are we allowed to have like a sticky note or some like mental idea for us to know like, oh, I need to do 2, 4, and 6, like those are the mastery based on me?
I will not. Yes, it will be you going to and checking your masteries on Blackboard ahead of time to see what you need. Like I said, exams are open notes and such. I recommend I'll talk about this closer to the first exam time. But one thing I will recommend before the exam is go on Blackboard, see how many masteries you've earned on everything, and kind of make a plan of attack for which standards you're going to plan to attack on that exam ahead of time. And then you can just write those down in your notes or whatever and have that with you for the exam. Why am I doing such a complicated system? I've done this before in a couple of my Calc 1 classes last year. I think it worked pretty well, and one reason I really want to do it this semester is because if you're out of class sick for 2 weeks, I don't want you to have to worry about making things up that you missed in class. Other than, of course, kind of the course material, but I don't want to be giving you a bunch of things in class like homework assignments and quizzes that you will have to retake. Because that's just, I don't know. I feel like if I were in that situation, it would just stress me out way too much. And I want you to really have the opportunity to have sort of a low pressure environment, hopefully, where you don't feel like you have to understand everything the first time around. So I'm going to take a stab at guess that based on this class, some of you have had bad experiences with math before. See a couple of you nodding along. And here's the thing with math. It snowballs. You do badly on one thing, it can hurt your self-confidence a bit, and then which makes you do worse on the next thing, and then it just keeps rolling downhill from there. I have been there. It is not a nice feeling. But with this mastery system, I hope to relieve some of the pressure in that if you don't get something the first time around, that's okay. You can try again and end up doing just as well grade-wise as you would have if you've gotten it the first time around. You might just have to put in a bit more work, but you can still do it. Theoretically, you could earn no masteries up until the last day of class, and then on the last day of class, you'll take exam 4, master everything, and then take the final exam and master everything a second time and end up with an A in the class. That's theoretical. Don't try that. Yes?
Can you explain just like one more time how, like what different opportunities you have to earn masteries? Is it just through the quizzes and the tests?
Correct.
Okay, so if we, like let's say I take the quiz when we get a mastery, can I retake the same quiz to get another mastery?
Yes, you can.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so you can do the same quiz twice to get both 2 out of 2 masteries from one standard?
Bingo.
Okay.
So here's another example. I'm guessing that the first quiz 1, is going to go up sometime like mid next week. I kind of imagine standard 1's not a particularly long one. I expect we'll be done with it in class 5 by class time on Monday. So let's say I don't read into this yet. I'll tell you when all these things are going up. Let's say I put up the quiz for Tuesday and Wednesday next week. You could take the quiz. You could take the quiz and maybe earn for standard 1, maybe earn a mastery in it, which hopefully I will tell you about by like Thursday. And then you could, once you get back your score, you could immediately email me and say, Dr. Gersel, I'd like to retest standard 1. And then I'll send you the retest version somehow, still figuring that out. And then if you test it, theoretically by the end of next week, you could earn 2 masteries on standard 1 and just be done with it. And then it'll show up on every exam, but you'll be able to skip it on every exam. Just leave it blank, because you're done with that one. No, earning 3 or more masteries on a standard does not give you extra credit. You can't say, I'm going to retest on standard 1 10 times and have that count towards some of these other standards. No, if you test on a standard more than twice on like an exam, I will say, good job, but this isn't giving you anything extra. Other than extra self-confidence and mathematical maturity, whatever that means.
Just a quick clarification. If we can retest on 1 per week, does that mean 1 for each standard or just 1 retest per week?
1 retest per week. I teach a 3 sections in this class. There are going to be about 65, 70 students taking it. If everybody is retesting multiple times per week, I will die from the grading and the logistical nightmare that will result. I'm going to anyways. But this is my way of limiting it, so. And limiting that does give you a finite number of retests, something like 14 retests or whatever. I want you to take each retest seriously and not just say, I'm just going to beat my head into the wall until this works. I want you to think about it and actually prepare for each of these retests.
You can only retest once a week, but you retest multiple standards at once.
No. Only one retest on 1 standard once per week. Good questions.
Does it matter what standard we try to retest on? So like
Nope.
14th week, I just got to retest standard 1.
Absolutely. One thing I will say is you can't retest the standard we haven't covered yet. So you can't come to me tomorrow and say, Dr. Gersel, I'd like to test on standard 12. You have to wait for us to actually finish standard 12 before you do that. Anybody else have okay, sure, that's fine. Any questions? Let's see. There is a final exam date that's listed in here. Final exam is not going to be in class, so I'll probably give you like several days over which you can choose to take the final exam, so plan your travel accordingly. Especially because you've got the last exam day, 8 to 10 a.m. Lucky you. Okay, that's gonna still have 5 minutes. You know what? I'm gonna let you go 5 minutes early today. Get out and avoid the crowds. If you have any questions, or if you need me to sign an ad card or something, you'll come on up to the front of the room. But please don't crowd me. And don't forget your homework assignment. Because that's how we're going to start class on Friday. We're going to talk about what is math to you.
Can it be negative?
I'm sorry?
Yes, it could be negative.
It can be negative. If you come in and your response is math is hell,
That's what I was thinking.
go for it. Alright, you go for me here.
Yeah. I'm here to clean up the dorm a little bit because they're kind of poured out looking for my stupid lanyard. I'm gonna kill Josh. But
Welcome to 8 a.m.
Thank you.
yeah.
Excited? I'm excited too.
First off, nice to meet you. I just want to let you know that I play softball here and my coach.
Ah, you're one of those.
Yeah, I apologize for that in advance for like multiple reasons, but most of them being that my coach is a little unpredictable with planning.
I've had softball students here before. I know how that goes.
Yeah, so he's a little bit worse than Joe. That's what he's like, you know. But so I might be late to class sometimes just because he does run over sometimes with our morning lifts. We'll tell you like as soon as possible if that happens, and then I might be out some days. We shouldn't have any travel, but if we for any reason do, I'll let you know like days in advance.
Sure. Yeah, I'd definitely appreciate that. And no worries on if you end up being a little late to class. Just do the best you can to come up undisruptively.
Okay, we'll do. All right. Also that, and Morgan Cox told me to say hi to you for her.
Of course she did. Tell Morgan I say hi, and what sort of snarky comment did I leave to Morgan? Tell her we miss her here.
Got it. All right.
Just want to introduce myself. I'm AJ.
You did?
But yeah. I was going to say I really am excited for your class in the system that you have because I was a TA in high school. Yeah, just for a lower high school, like middle school writing class. And with the way percentages worked, I kind of like learned how to just kind of get through by manipulating the percentages to the.
Yes, I've seen students do this many times before.
I'm really excited to not have to worry about that.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. Students seem to like this the last couple times I did this. I hope it works out well here because I've never done it with a new online system before.
Yeah. Well, it was great meeting you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
I hope I didn't disrupt your 8 a.m. class.
Oh, no worries, you're fine.
In case you couldn't tell, I'm that awkward homeschool student.
Oh, was that you? Sorry, what's your name?
I'm Jonathan.
I see you, Jonathan. They'll still have a bunch of those awkward.
Okay, yes.
I was not a homeschool student, but I definitely fit the awkward mold. Still did. Okay.